All right, just getting things all sorted here, guys. To do the show. Just got to get all the ball chasing stuff. While we wait. Hope everyone's doing well. Let me pop some windows up so I know what's going on here. Looks like we're okay. All right. All right. Launch the Rocket League and let's get this show going. What's up, Invictus? How you doing? This will be a quick stream. I had some other things to do in the morning. So we're getting here a little late, so we might not even see this entire one, but we're mostly going to casually watch and just chat with you guys. And lead right into pre-show time because it's around 10:30, 10:40, around that time. Not sure exactly what time they're starting yet, but yeah. So let's do it. Oh, unlock some stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was going to try and get my hoops to Grand Champ right before the end of the season, and that failed miserably. I think I was one game away, and then I faced the same duo like 3 times in a row, and did not end well. So then I didn't try anymore after that. So oh well, it is what it is. But we did get our Grand Champ rewards at the very least. Just didn't get that hoops title. Is there? Yeah, there's a hoops title. Yeah, so just didn't get that. All right. Guess we had some tournament stuff lying around. Lots of stuff. Here we go. Oh yeah, we got the bloom plant, guys. Here we go. That's the item. It's the one we were waiting for. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ay. So weird. Let me just make sure I got everything working, and then we'll get right into it. All right. I think this will work. Yeah, I think I have them all. Game 1, game 2. Yep. Okay, we're good. Let's do it. We'll watch casually. And just chat with you all as well. Be interesting to see their kickoff stuff again. Lots of kickoffs by KC that are always going to be odd. But yeah, we'll just play through this final. We also watched this already once, but it's always nice to just like, here's a recap of what's happened. We'll just chill here. We'll answer some questions. I'll keep it like an open Q&A, and we'll go from there. Because I already watched most of this, so it's already on YouTube. But you know, we're just chilling. We're just chilling. We're just vibing. I think Novo Esports is going to do. Probably not well, but, you know, who knows? Who knows? This is not my first time watching this. We already analyzed this series once. I watched it live, most of it at least. But watching it live is a little different because you're not always like, when I'm not on the show, I'm not going to be focusing the same way that I would, you know, just casually viewing or whatever. So, let me know if the audio is too low or too high on the desktop side versus my voice. It's always a good test for later YouTube stuff as well. But we're just chilling. We'll leave it open to like open Q&A. Yeah, so we can ask questions, hang out, watch some games before the EU show kicks off. Hopefully, the EU show doesn't try and do anything too slanderous on NA this time. Oh man, we'll see. We'll see. We need to do like a Cheese versus Thumpy 1v1, like at the LAN or something. We need to do some type of content piece with that, because that'd be fun. So, see how it goes. Loud for me, actually, surprisingly. So I'm talking like louder than I normally do. I'm going to turn myself down. Or not myself down, but the audio on my side down a bit. That shouldn't affect your audio, but yeah, we'll just chill. What's up, Busy? How you doing? Yeah, Drop Shot's back. I am very excited about that. It's always something fun to play, because what I was doing last ranked was I would queue hoops, rumble, 3s and 2s all at the same time, always. And just whatever I got, I got. So I didn't play a ton of hoops games, I don't think, but actually hoops came up more often than I would say rumble, probably. But now I'll add Drop Shot like into that mix as well. And I'm very excited about that it's back. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of is their like casual playlist hopper, where it's like I do like the idea of like whichever is more popular will be there the following week with one other one. I do like that idea. The problem is that it's just in casual, and I'm like, I just can't play casual. I just can't do it. It's just like I need something to drive for. Now I'm not every single person, obviously, and I think that's always the hard part. Like Devin put up, like, what content does everyone want? Everyone responds completely differently, right? Like, everyone wants, like, different things. And that's also the hardcore of the hardcore. Plenty of casual people playing, too. And I get their problems, or, like, the trouble they're having of, like, hey, everyone says on Twitter, and this is my assumption, everyone says on Twitter they want new stuff, right? We want the Lethermere maps. We want whatever, right? But then when things come out, like I wonder, how popular was Knockout, right? Knockout might have been popular for like 3 days, and then it probably dropped off like a cliff, is my opinion. Now, I'm not sure if that's true. That is my guesstimate. But it's probably something like that where it's like, oh, we worked really hard on this mode, and literally no one plays it. So why? Like, everyone just wants to play the normal game. Same thing with the weird maps. I love different maps, right? Yet, they just didn't work. People didn't want them. When they added that map, like and dislike thing, they literally added that to see, by numbers, how many people actually like maps that are not normal, right? And obviously, no one liked them. Now, to be fair, could you implement them in different ways to make them better? That's a possibility, right? That's always like an argument. Because like, the maps they had maybe were just a little bit too different or something like that. And also, because there's so many normal maps, why would you want to learn just one weird map, you know? So it just doesn't make any sense. So there is those arguments too, but at the end of the day, the entire community did not want different stuff. They just wanted to play Rocket. And I think that's where they probably are like, they always say they want stuff, but then they never actually play it. And again, I think some of that is because like they're in casual playlists. No one wants to play casual. And all that stuff, so it's like, maybe if they tried to implement them in different ways, maybe it would work. And that's always my thing. Like, I like the idea of this, like, Drop Shot's only here for this season. Like, I don't like it that it's Drop Shot, but I like that idea of, like, if you add something new, just throw it into ranked versus and see how it does. Like, give them specific rewards and all of that stuff to do that. Because then you'll see if it's actually popular or not. Because it might blow up while it's in ranked. When it's in casual, it's just going to die. Because no one likes to play that way. There we go. Game 1 done. Sorry, I didn't talk about the game at all this time, but we'll talk more about the game here or there. But mostly we're just here, just watching, just chilling, just having a good time. But I think that's always the issue, and I don't know if this is necessarily true, right? That's my guesstimate, is that people say they want new stuff. When that new stuff actually comes, no one plays it. So then they're like, well, why are we putting resources into it, right? So, I don't know. Personally, for me, I could care less about any new map. Do not care about new maps at all, because it's the same field. I don't care what's going on around me. I am not a cosmetic-driven person anyway. Do not care what's going on around me. Like, people will say, like, oh, like, cool, it's an Akadome reskin, but I really want one of these 4 maps, like the rooftop map and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't care about any of those maps, because they're all the same. So it doesn't matter to me. But again, that's just my opinion. So, like, I personally would love, like, non-standard maps. They did add, into private matches, more Rocket Labs maps. And maybe at some point on stream, like, if I have time, we will do, like, viewer games and play on those maps, because that stuff was fun to me. I just wish they were like, hey, we added all these Rocket Labs maps. We're going to add a Rocket Labs playlist into ranked for this season and see how it does. And put all those maps in it. No normal maps whatsoever. And then maybe over time, you figure out which maps people like or don't like, and you could, like, trim that list a little bit and make it a little bit better. But I would play that playlist like crazy. 3v3 weird maps for ranked, I would be in that every day. Every single day. Now, would everyone else be in there every single day? Probably not. So that's the problem. But yeah. And that's always hard, because it's like, I think people are always like, well, I want this, so clearly that should be in the game. I know my wants are not popular. I know people don't want non-standard maps. So it's like hard, because I want them, obviously, but I know most people don't. So I'm just like, yeah, whatever. It's a losing battle for me, I guess. All right, I'm going to look back through chat. Any idea when they usually announce the location of the World Championship? It just depends on when the negotiations happen. Ooh, Rise, almost. And all that stuff. Like, I don't think there's a specific time. Like, I bet they want to announce it when they can, but it just all depends, is my guess. I kind of hate Rumble. Well, Invictus, you're banned. All right? I love Rumble, personally, but no, like, I do like that they have weird maps in Rumble, which is always fun, too. Those are my favorite games, when we're on, like, double goal or something on Rumble. The hair will be perfect in 20 days. Yep, we just buzz it down. We got in a fight with a lawnmower. We buzz it down, and in about 20 days, my hair is, like, the perfect height. That's how I do it. So I always try and get my hair cut, like, 3 weeks, like 3 to 4 weeks, basically, before majors. And then my hair is fine. So that's usually what I try to do. We all went yesterday. It was so funny. My kids, like my oldest, he's fine with haircuts. Not a big deal. But my youngest, he used to, you know, cry, or we'd have to hold his hand. Now we don't have to do any of that. But he won't talk to them at all. And he's very talkative, obviously, with us. But as soon as he's in that chair, he's just dead quiet. But even if we ask him questions, will not respond. He's just like, nope, I'm here. I'm getting my hair cut. I'm getting it done. But he's not sad. He's actually, like, kind of happy, I guess. But he's just chilling. It's just funny. How big of a role do you think Farrah has on the win streak? That's always hard to quantify, I feel like. Coaches are so difficult to tell, like, what they actually do, like, half the time. And I think you kind of just have to go based on their results of, like, how good of a coach they are. But that could also be clearly wrong, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that they're amazing, right? I don't know, like, 15%, maybe, I'll give them. So I'll give the players a little bit more than 25%, I guess, if I have to quantify it. But yeah, I don't know. But 15% is one game in a Game 7 series, right? Am I doing that math right? Is it about 15? 15, 30, 60, 90. Yeah, it's about one game. So you win in Game 7, it's because of Farrah. There you go. It works out perfectly. Where do you get the replays? Ball chasing. I will post the link here in chat. Let me go back. I'll just do all of RLCS 2024. Link incoming for you guys. I'm a little bit behind in chat. So there you go. Ball chasing. Hopefully Twitch doesn't block the link. I don't think it will. Do I miss mid-season mayhem? I love mid-season mayhem. Players complained way too much, like, oh, it's going to ruin my skill in normal Rocket League. That was a real thing, guys. That was a real thing that players said. They were like, it's going to ruin my skill the next week when I have to go back to a normal map because they have to play for an hour or two in these weird modes. That was a real complaint. See, this is why when players complain, you can't always just take their word for it. You just can't. Sometimes they're going to be wrong. All right? It just is what it is. But, yeah. That was always a weird one to me. They're like, oh, no. Now I'm not going to know how to read a bounce. It's like, really? Because you played for an hour? Like, come on. Come on. But yes, Mid-Season Mayhem was great. That was the only time I've casted on an RLCS show. I casted with Wavefunk. I believe it was Energy versus G2 in Mid-Season Mayhem. I believe G2 won 3-0. It might have been Energy won 3-0. I can't remember who beat who. But I do remember the drop shot game and all that stuff. It's the only time. Only time. Good times. Good times. Does anyone agree Gibbs put Gen G above G2 is an abomination? Okay, you know, like if BDS does the exact same thing today, right? If they 3-2 K-Corp in Swiss and then 4-1 them, like dominate them in the finals, I think it'll be a good series, but they dominate the finals, like, I'm going to put BDS 1. They earned it. Like, I don't care about the points necessarily. It's like, you know, recency bias should matter a lot. Sure, G2 maybe not a lot to play for, yada, yada, yada. That is an NA mentality. Do you think the tier is coming out being like, hey, guys, we didn't put our best effort in going into this last regional? Hell no. Hell no. So get out of here with this NA mentality BS of, well, we didn't practice as hard this week. Screw it. Screw it. But obviously, they're incredibly close. Like, I think on LAN, like, a G2 was always going to be a little bit of a disadvantage versus a Gen G. Like, if they were exactly equal regionally, I would have put Gen G above them in terms of going to a LAN, just because they're better LAN players overall, I would say. Like, I think Dan and Beast Mode aren't as good on LAN outside of Gamers 8 compared to the Chronic, the Appjack, the First Killer. Like, Atomic is up there, obviously. But, yeah. But, again, not a huge edge, just a small edge. But, yeah. But people will see number 1, number 2, and Riot. Funny, I put up that YouTube video. I haven't looked at the comments. I just don't want to hear it. I really don't. There are times when I'll put something out, like, I don't like having a take that inspires conversation. I really don't. I'm the opposite of T-Bates. I'm not a big fan of that. That inspires at least conversation that could lead to, I don't know, like negativeness, I guess. Just not a huge fan. So I haven't looked at the comments at all on the Gibbs and Wavefunk video. It just, there's probably not going to be a lot that comes out of that is worthwhile. There will be some, but I just don't want to see all the other BS. So I just didn't bother. So, just Hey, Moxie, what's going on? What's going on? Thank you. Yeah, we'll do more breakdowns leading up to Worlds, probably. I'll probably do a SAM final. I'll do a MENA final. I'll probably do this EU final, and I'll do the NA final. Maybe an OCE final? Probably. Like, maybe. We'll see if we have time. I probably won't do it for APAC or SSA, but who knows? It depends on the time I have, because we're pretty close to the tournament. Like, I have to leave, like, Saturday before Copenhagen. By the way, I'm going. I guess I'll just say it here. I said it on my power ranking show, but I have to leave the Saturday before the tournament. Because, like, visa stuff and whatever. So as long as that all goes smoothly, I'll be on the show. But yeah, so it's coming up pretty quick. My wife, she actually has a work trip this week as well, so I'll be home with the kids by myself when they are home. So it's a little bit more taxing. It's not incredibly taxing, but you know, so I might not do as much this week, but we'll see. Putting LG behind Space Station is crazy. What? Like, Space Station, they just had a tough road. It happens. But they don't, I don't know. I don't think they deserve to be lower or higher. I mean, yes, lower than LG because of that. Like, I don't think it's necessarily you always are going to have, like, your best 4 teams at LAN, which is fine. It's not the end of the world. But it's not just based on points, right? Because if everything's based on points, you would need to have, like, the ultimate perfect format. You would need points to increase on the way out. And, like, no one's got time for all that, right? And no one wants to watch, like, a 5th place match, right? So. My favorite part of Mid-Season Mayhem was the bad teams when the Classics would just pop off in Mid-Season Mayhem. It was great. It was great. Good time. These are old games. These are the finals from the past EU Regional. What a shot. What a shot. BDS doing well. But we're mostly just... We have something on in the background for you guys to enjoy. You can mute me if you want. If you just want to watch the games, it's fine. But we're mostly just chatting. Just chill. Nothing too crazy here. What was that? That was game 3, right? Yes. Okay, game 4. Here we go. It was close. Like, G2, like, sure, close games, but they won 4-1, is what I mean. Like, a dominant score line at the end of the day. And the one game they won is where Daniel and Atomic both hit, like, top 10 goals of the split. So it's like, all right, I don't know. I don't know. The whole nerfing debacle. One thing I was surprised, I don't know if any of you play Helldivers 2. I played it the first week. I haven't gone back to it recently. I just haven't had time. And also because Final Fantasy Rebirth came out, so I've been playing that. But one thing that's always like a thing that can get you in trouble a lot is like if you follow the meta too closely, or you're just trying to nerf out the meta of things from the player perspective. The one thing I thought in Helldivers that was odd is the whole game is about you feeling great about your person, like you're very powerful. Sure, you'll die here or there. I would have much preferred if they just buffed all the guns that were weaker and then add more difficulties, right? Just add higher difficulties. That way, you don't feel less powerful, but the enemies get more powerful if you choose to play that way, right? I just don't see the idea of, like in a game like that it's all about how powerful you are. Oh, what a play. What a play on both sides there. Rise. Great fakes and exotic, just great patience. But in a game like that, where one, that there's no PvP or anything like that, it's all about just, like, power fantasy and just having fun. I would think you would just try and buff other weapons, mostly. Maybe if one weapon's incredibly broken, you might have to dial back a little bit. But then just make enemies harder instead. Just do something different. But I don't know. That's just me. What up, Jack? It Gibbs with the fade. It's more just, I just buzzed it all. That's what I always do. It's just an easy buzz. I'm easy. It's funny because me and my kids got haircuts yesterday. All 3 of us were like in our chairs at the same time, which was really nice. Like but there was 3 haircuts there. And I'm done in like 5 minutes and they still have like 10 more minutes to go. Which obviously because their hair is a little more complex than their kids and all that stuff, but it's just funny. Casey just better right now though, Gibbs. Yeah, they are until this regional. If BDS beat them twice, and one of them's a convincing final, we'll say. Then throw BDS up on the board. Like I think Vitality, if Vitality did it, it's a little bit more of a gray area because they've looked so bad. At least in Qualifier 2, it's a good bounce back. I think you probably would give them the nod depending on how the series goes. Just because of like,
months. We draw ever closer to the 100 D.
But that's more of a historical reason, which I guess Genji has a little bit of that as well. But Vitality would have a much bigger presence in that fight.
Grab all of them for me? Jinx! Grab all of them!
Oh, I have this muted. Weed a bag. Thank you. Thank you for the sub. I don't know why that's needed. Interesting. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. I'm going to try and turn on a different alert box and see if that works. That's if we get any more. No need to test it, but I'm just going to try something different. If it does pop. But thank you so much. I probably missed some other ones, so if there was another one, let me know. Because I'm on Restream, so it won't show me the Twitch stuff. Let me just double check. Chocolate Penguin, love to see the new haircut times on point. Hell yeah, man. Gotta do it. What are my thoughts on Oxygen and M80? I think M80, you don't need to make any changes. I think they know what they got. And I think they go again and push for Major 2. Heard like AJ just didn't like the whole boot camp in terms of like he didn't feel comfortable on his PC. Probably partially like an excuse, but whatever. Still, I think they're talented enough to definitely make Major 2. And if you make Major 2, very, very likely you're going to the World Championship, right? Especially with everyone so close in Split 1. There's a bump up in points in Split 2. And so if you just make it, you'll be fine. Unless, like, G2 doesn't make it, then they would probably creep back in still, right? Because they had, like, an amazing Split 1, right? So as long as it's one of those other teams, then yes, you will make it. So I say just go again. The same with Space Station. Like, you probably could just go again. Now, obviously, we don't know, like, internal team problems, if there is any, yada, yada, yada. So that'll change based on that for roster talk. But in terms of from the outside perspective, I said just do it again, Split 2, just go for it. For Oxygen, I think Oxygen is a little bit lower than the other teams, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. They're only slightly, and we'll see how they do. They obviously have potential, and they could also, like, do some work, right? So I think Oxygen is right on the cusp as well. I think they're in the conversation. And it just depends if they want to... That's a nice double. If they want to try again, right? Obviously, they can still make it here, so we'll see how it all plays out. But I think Oxygen is also one of those on-the-cusp teams. But Europe is just so much harder, right? Because Europe, I feel like there's just, like... There's some really, really good teams. It's going to be hard to pass some of them. But what's your next best option? Make another new team with other players that didn't make it? Like, I don't think that's an option in Europe either. Unless you really want to try, but I think you just kind of hold serve and you give it another go. Did Psyonix nerf Crash Couldn't Boost? I don't know. I haven't seen it. I'm shocked that it took, what? Basically 8 years of competition. Of, like, high-level competition. For people to try and metagame, like, boost out. We saw it a little bit previously. But it's coming more to a head now, and we'll see if that continues. But I'm just, like, surprised that that took that long. These pros are slacking. These pros are slacking. Okay, let's see if I missed anything else. Some other PvP games have skill-based matchmaking, which is essentially ranked without getting the best person. See, that's the thing that I had an issue with in the finals, was they have skill-based matchmaking. They have ranked. But your rank is not your skill-based matchmaking level, which I think is annoying. I don't want to grind for my ranked necessarily. I want to grind my skill to get better to rank higher. I don't want to have to play in a bunch of tournaments to just go and meet up with that level. Or just play a lot to hit max level, which you can essentially do in that. So I'm never a big fan of those systems. What needs to happen in NA mind shift attitude to close the gap with the EU? Do the minor regions have any real shot at the major championship? I think Mina and Sam definitely do. You feel like the other regions are not really closing the gap at all. Like, I think they have a shot. I think it's still going to be very difficult. I think it's like Europe right now is probably like 60%, maybe 70% likely to win this tournament. Maybe more, honestly. It's just hard to tell because it was a long off season, so that's where you might downgrade a bit. But like, yeah, like honestly, probably like 80% likely, I would say. Europe wins this major. I think the other 20% falls into like the the G2, the Gen G, the Furia, and the Falcons, right? And you could give them different percents based on how you're feeling. But because of the bracket, where only everyone has one life, I think like that's why it's even that high, honestly. But we'll see. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe the offseason gap made other teams close the gap. I expect that the gap got wider because Europe is still practicing with Europe the entire offseason. So my guess would be it got wider. But obviously it depends on the team you build and all that stuff. But just the overall level of skill, my guess would be it got a tiny bit wider. But I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. We talked about this a little bit, me and Wave, about if I had to, for Gen G and G2, like if I had to place a bet on who places higher, right? And both bets were, you know, plus 100. You just bet and win your money back. Or win double your money. Nice save. Or almost nice save. I think I'd have Gen G higher than G2. But to win the tournament, I really think G2 probably has a higher percentage chance. Like, obviously, it's not a high percentage.
Seriously, James?
There we go. It's working. The turbo. Thank you so much for the sub. We got something working. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, man. Thank you for the sub. Welcome to the Potato Owner. But I'm not saying it's a 1-to-1 there. Like, I would never do a bet where I just double my money if a G2 won the tournament. Absolutely not. I would need like 4 to 5 to 1. Maybe higher. But whatever. But so I think they would have a higher likelihood to win the tournament, while I think Gen G has a higher likelihood to place higher. I just feel like Gen G on land has a better chance to be just consistently good, while G2, if they peak, they could win. While Gen G, sure, like if they peak, they could also win, but I think it's just a higher percentage chance that G2 would do that versus a Gen G. But if it is just who goes further in the tournament, I'm taking Gen G every single day. Another game in the books. All right. Let me get this next game going. I think we're going to finish just in time. That was the 4-1. Yeah. All right. We got 2 games left. We'll finish probably just in time for the pre-show-ish timing. Just gotta check one thing. Hope everyone's doing well, though. Hopefully everyone's excited for the European show. It's always a good time. As long as they don't slander NA, it's always a good time. Oh, man. I'm not going to let him live that down. OC will be exceeding expectations if they make it to a Game 5. Oh, you mean Match 5 in Swiss. I agree. I have zero faith in OC. They haven't done anything in a very long time. They always, not always, they sometimes will get one upset somewhere. Whatever, but like, it's just so incredibly difficult for them to get better. And maybe they have. Maybe Power is that team, but like, I think a 9th, or not a 9th, a 12th, what is it? Yeah, 12th through 14th is the spot for them. Very likely. I guess Power, a slight edge towards 9th through 11th, But if you think about all the teams in the tournament, you got 4 NA, 4 EU. I'd put them all above them. Then you have Mina. I would put both them ahead. And Sam, I would put both ahead of OC. Like, OC, I just don't... Like, I get it. Power looked great. But I still can't put them ahead of anyone else until they show it. Because it's been, what, like 5 years or 4 years since the top 8 or something like that. Like, something crazy. I don't know. But it'll be tough. It'll be tough. Like, if they get one upset win, like, I could see that happening and then go into match 5. And it depends who they play. But, because if in that 1 and 2 round, there's still going to be one OCE team left. Like, either one OCE team left or one APAC or one SSA, right? Because 2 of those very likely will go out in the 03 round. So if you match up there, sure, you can get lucky. But if I can, like if I had to place a bet, I think I would place a bet on Power going out in the 1 and 3 round rather than the 2 and 3 round. But I think it's close. Close. I can see the bet both ways. You think it would be a big surprise if Vitality doesn't qualify for this major? Absolutely. 1,000%. Not saying based on what they've shown. Like, last qualifier was not pretty. But based on what they can show, and based on how hard they probably grinded throughout these last 2 weeks, absolutely. That would be a huge upset to have them not there. It would also be just unfortunate in general for the major. I think you want the world champs there, but... Do you think Nupo would be top 5 player at the could be a top 5 player at the upcoming major? Sorry, my wife's texting me. No. If you exclude Europe, then okay. But like, I think Europe is so far ahead right now, or at least I think they're so far ahead, that it's very difficult to rank anyone outside of European players in the top 5. Would be my guess. Sorry, I'm gonna get a few texts here from my wife. But actually, I can mute the tab. Sorry, wife. All right, mute the tab. Sorry, those are my notifications. What do Vitality need to do to clinch? Very likely a top 4 will put them in. Very likely. It's not a guarantee, but top 4 should be all right. Matthew, what's up, baby? You're looking cute as well, Matthew, with your text, with your text name, looking all nice. All right, here we go. Game 6 about to wrap up here. Well, not really, because we got to go for time. Is there overtime? No, there's not an overtime. Sorry, never mind. My apologies. My apologies. Before we get to Game 7, you all are going to pay for my lunch. I'm going to do a quick, very, very quick ad. Very quick ad. So let me do that, and then we will get into Game 7. All right, here we go. Here we go. Let me studio mode this up, and then we'll go right back into the next game. Beautiful. I need to find the full screen option. Cannot find it. All right, here we go. Let's switch it. Boom. Red Baron Pizza. Let's do it. For some reason, I can't see the bottom bar. Oh, there we go. All right, here we go.
One Red Baron, fully loaded, hands-on style.
I'm a big fan.
Partner.
of the 3
That there
cheese
pizza's big
Red
enough
Baron pizza.
for the both
Love
of
it.
us.
I actually do really like it.
Sure
A lot.
is. But this town ain't.
3 cheese is where it's at. Don't need the 4th cheese, in my opinion. Just don't need it. Not sure which cheese it is. Don't need it. The showdown. I am a regular pizza guy. I'm not a big topping guy. I know most people love their toppings. It's probably very loud. That's right. Red Baron deserves it. Let's go.
Your pizza is going to get cold!
I
You
mean,
should be eating!
I mean, cold pizza's not bad either.
Is it better than fighting?
Of course!
And so, Lonely Pete and really rude Rick learned that a punch in the face might be fun, but sharing a fully loaded Red Baron with friends is always tastier. Yeah, that's about all we have time for today. Giddy up.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Well done. Well done, Red Baron Pizza. Thank you for the lunch. Sorry, I just gotta close that out. Lovely. Lovely of them. All right. Red Baron Pizza. Go check them out. Again, I'm a big fan of 3 cheese. I know people love their toppings, obviously. Fully loaded. Go for it. I actually do really enjoy their 3 cheese pizza. Let me bring back up Restream, and let me change the title, and we will continue on our merrily way. Update titles. Beautiful. All right, last game. Let's do it. Thank you guys all for paying for my lunch. I do appreciate it. Love you all. And let's do it. Let me turn off studio mode. Boom. We are back. We are back with a vengeance. Here we go. Now we're hungry after watching a pizza commercial. But we're back. We're back. Game 7. Get those last questions in. We'll be calling it shortly after this. Get ready for the pre-show. The normal pre-show. That confused me so much I have to get a Red Baron now. Hey, there's probably some marketing guy like, I really want to do this. And they're like, that's going to cost a lot of money. And they're like, well, screw it. We're doing it anyway. That commercial is fun. It's fun when people have fun in the commercials. Like, you know, the Brisk commercials, if you've ever seen them. Like you saw with my notification for my sub earlier. Those were a good time. I think I have them on my YouTube if no one's ever seen them before. Let me see. Gibbs. These were good stuff. Here we go. Beautiful. I'm going to link it to you guys. So you guys can go check them out. Or maybe we'll watch them right after this. We'll watch them right after this. How about that? That sounds like a plan. Good times. Good times. Love that commercial for the Parish Fry working video myself. No, it looks like a lot of money and staff. Most importantly, passion. Hell yeah, man. Yeah, like that stuff's always fun. When you know that they're having a good time, it definitely helps, right? I feel like, I don't know. It's the same with like our shows, right? There's always one thing I always say. It's like if there's bad news for any of us casters, or for any reason, right? Save it till after a show, right? Just save it. We don't, like, you just want to be in good spirits when you're going into a show. In my opinion. So if on-camera talent are kind of like upset, it'll show, probably, through the screen. So you just want everyone to be happy. Happy as a clam. Need the Gibbs goalie back in the RLCS pitch. Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll sit back. I'll chill. Yo, look, give me Daniel and Beast Mode. I'll make it major. All right? Who's this atomic guy? What has he done? Come on, man. All right. Game 7. We'll see if BDS can finally get a regional win. Not now, obviously, but this weekend. They've been so close. Or just an RLCS win in general. They've been close. But I just haven't been able to pull it off. So, and then Monkey Moon also, like, even during the roster offseason, he felt like he was the odd man out. There was tweets at times when he's like, well, what do I do now? But he did build the team, and he built a pretty good one. I had my doubts a little bit. Like, I did like Exotic a lot. Rated him. I wasn't sure how good Drawley was going to be like off the bat, but he's been incredibly solid. And Monkey Moon is always super, super solid. So it worked out. It was just against the like Vitalities and the K-Corps that I thought, you know, there's no way that they're going to compete versus those two behemoths, and they are. They're toe-to-toe with them, which is great to see. Leads to more competition in Europe. Probably bad for the rest of the world. Like, honestly, there's another team up there. Like I think going into the split, a lot of people thought it was going to be a two-team region with K-Corp and Vitality. Not saying the others were going to be bad, but that those two would be more dominant. But it's been very close. Obviously, K-Corp has been dominant, but they've been tested a lot. And Vitality, obviously, has been looking a little bit down. But there's a lot of good teams in Europe. 4 spots. Like people will say 4 spots is not enough. I think it's the perfect amount. It makes, for these regionals, very exciting because you never know who's going to make it. And you got to prove it against your own region if you want to prove it against the world. So let's do it. I never got that argument of the like if a region is so incredibly good, like give them more and more spots, because then it just leads to like the online qualifier portion to be like kind of pointless. Because most of those teams will just make it in anyway. But also, it's like if you're like even say an NA4, right? Like a Luminosity or an OG or whatever. Like you've had 3 shots at the top of NA and you failed 3 times. So now going to the major, that's very likely not going to change anyway. Like, they're not necessarily competing for titles there. They're competing for, like, other spots. And I'm like, you've had plenty of opportunities. I don't know if we need any more teams on top of them to also go, right? That's always been, like, my line of thinking. Of, like, less spots is not inherently bad. I get it for, like, players and orgs and stuff. They always want more spots. I get it. But, like, in terms of teams that can actually win the tournament, like, I don't know. I don't know if it's necessarily needed. The tie game! 2 seconds on the clock. Will BDS finally do it? Will they defeat the beast? Newsflash, they won't. It's a long overtime, though. Long overtime. All right, we're going to speed ahead to the end of overtime. I assume the pre-show's about to start, so I can show you my brisk commercials. So we're going to speed ahead here a bit, and then I'll show the brisk commercials as my send-off to the show. We'll show the final there. Here we go, here we go. There it is. Drawley just flipped a little bit early. Like, honestly, not the most impressive goal by Atto, but it was a fantastic series, all in all. But more importantly, we got to show the brisk commercials. Let's do it. Here we go. You look confused.
I just don't get it.
So
the
I
new
hate
brisk
hearing
is
my own
watermelon
voice. I hate it.
and lemonade.
What don't you get?
Is it watermelon flavored lemonade or lemonade flavored watermelon?
Let me show you, James. The Merc is a bold watermelon flavor, and the Scarab is a blast of lemonade flavor. Does that make sense? I guess it didn't matter, James.
Newsflash, I made those.
Brisk watermelon lemonade is
I made
available
those
only at
cars.
7-Eleven for a
I
limited
made
time
that
this
demo
summer,
happen.
So get yours now.
I think they were
Hey, Gibbs.
car presets
Getting some gains in
like
after all that
last year,
casting?
like in
Yeah,
my
I'm
lobby.
close overtime.
Still.
Trying to hit that grand champ. Can you do me a favor, though?
Yeah, what's up?
This personal space issue, can you please move over there?
Okay.
Just trying to win a game here. 2, can you actually grab me some more brisk of watermelon lemonade? They're only at 7-Eleven, very limited, and I'm almost out.
Yeah, I was going to go there anyway.
Thanks, dude. Can you actually grab all of them for me?
James, grab all of them! James, I'm serious!
Brisk watermelon lemonade.
One problem with that take or those takes, it was right before playoffs of season 3 or 4 of NA playoffs and Euro playoffs online or like in the studio. They made me do that take so much where I'm screaming because people kept laughing in the background and we'd have to redo it. And my voice was killing me killing me by the end.
lemonade is available only at 7-Eleven for a limited time this summer, so get yours now.
Hey Gibbs, what's up?
What's going on, James?
Nothing much. How you doing?
I have a dilemma. I think I'm going to switch off the hard hat.
Well, what are you gonna pick?
Well, the pros don't really use toppers. Then you have to go with certifications. Maybe go with certified turtle, possibly. And then, of course, got to stay with the candy corn boost because that's the most important.
Well, that's cool, but I'm gonna pop out to 7-Eleven, so I'll see you later.
And rock the Dominus? Seriously, James?
Brisk watermelon lemonade is available only at 7-Eleven for a limited time.
Beautiful. Beautiful. My acting career might have peaked, but you never know. You never know. We'll do more. We'll do more in the future. I mean, very likely not. I bet they saw those like, never have casters do commercials again. But those were good times back in the day, you know. Let me go back to full screen here, and then we'll round it out. I will link you those commercials in chat if you guys want to see them for yourselves or whatever, or if you want to share them to friends, whatever you may want to do if people haven't seen them before. But yeah, that's gonna do it for me. Thank you guys all for watching the RLCS EU pre-show, and we'll see you next week for some YouTube videos at the very least, probably some recaps of Europe and some finals breakdowns from the various regions. So that'll do it for me. I'm not even going to host Rocket League. You know where to go. Adios. Love y'all. Bye-bye.